Mumbai, India's financial powerhouse, is right in the middle of a massive $30 billion transformation. We're talking about an infrastructure blitz that is literally reshaping the city from the ground up. So what exactly is going on? And can a city of 22 million people really reinvent itself? Let's dive in.
Okay, so here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll look at the problem, why Mumbai was a city at its breaking point. Then we'll get into the ridiculously ambitious solution, this multi-billion-dollar facelift. After that, we'll follow the money and see who's actually footing the bill. We'll also dig into the huge risks of a boom this big. And finally, we'll look at why this massive gamble in Mumbai could define the future for all of urban India.
So, really, what pushed Mumbai to this point? To really get why this makeover is so huge, you first have to understand the crisis that made it completely, absolutely unavoidable.
Yeah, if you're on the streets there, you can feel it. People are saying there's something different about Mumbai these days. There's this sense that the city's finally getting the kind of infrastructure that can match its incredible energy. But here's the thing. This feeling of progress is totally new, and it comes after decades and decades of neglect.
The core of the problem really just boils down to this one absolutely staggering number: 22 million. That's how many people live in the Mumbai metropolitan area. For years, it's been this powerful magnet for opportunity, but its infrastructure has been straining and honestly, in a lot of cases, just failing under the immense weight of all that growth.
And look, this crisis didn't just pop up overnight. It's the direct result of decades of underinvestment. While millions of people were pouring into the city looking for a better life, the planning just couldn't keep up. India's commercial capital was, in effect, starved of the development it needed, which led to things like dangerously overcrowded transport. So this whole makeover isn't just about looking modern. It's basically an emergency response that's been decades in the making.
All right, so if that's the problem, what's the solution? Well, it's an absolutely unprecedented construction blitz, designed to drag the city, kicking and screaming if it has to, into the 21st century.
And that future, it comes with a jaw-dropping price tag: $34 billion. That's the estimated cost for all the new bridges, tunnels, and transit lines that are being built right now. It's one of the most ambitious urban renewal projects on the entire planet, a massive bet on Mumbai's future.
So what in the world do you get for $34 billion? Well, we're talking about total game changers. Think sleek, new underground metro lines to move millions of people. India's longest sea bridge, designed to slash brutal travel times down to just minutes. A brand new airport being built to handle another 20 million passengers a year. And that's just scratching the surface. This is not a patch job, it's a complete top-to-bottom overhaul.
And for the 22 million people who actually live there, this is where it gets really personal. It's about swapping a dangerous, packed, hour-long commute for a safe journey that takes a fraction of the time. It's about being able to find just a moment of calm in a city that is famous for never, ever stopping. Okay, but a vision this big, it needs a truly massive pile of cash, which leads to the $34 billion question: who is footing the bill for all this?
Yeah, it's not coming from just one place. This is a huge financial team effort. India's central and state governments are pouring in a lot of money, but they're also joined by international partners, like Japanese investors and the Asian Development Bank. It's this really complex puzzle of public money, private investment, and global financing all coming together to make it happen. And you have to understand, this is all possible because infrastructure is a massive national priority right now. In its last budget, India's central government set aside the equivalent of $140 billion for projects all over the country. And Mumbai's transformation is a huge centerpiece of that nationwide investment.
But, of course, whenever you have a spending boom this big, you also have massive risks. This is a really high-stakes gamble, and you know what? Not everyone is convinced it's going to pay off the way it's supposed to.
And that's the question that's just hanging over every single one of these projects. When you spend this much money, this fast, could it all actually backfire? Well, if you look at history, both in India and around the world, the answer is a definite maybe.
And that brings us to the biggest fear of all, the vanity project. It's this risk that some of these huge developments end up being more about prestige and looking good than about being practical. These gleaming structures built without the careful planning needed to actually solve the city's real on-the-ground problems.
And you don't have to look far to find some scary examples, right? China's own infrastructure boom famously led to entire ghost cities. Closer to home, a previous airport expansion in India left about a dozen airports almost completely empty. And we've all seen how poor urban planning in other Indian cities has led to disasters like severe flooding. You see the pattern here? It all boils down to two things: planning and accountability.
Okay, so let's pull back for the big picture here. Because what's happening in Mumbai isn't just about Mumbai. Its success, or its failure, is going to have ripple effects across the entire country. It's really going to shape the future of urban India.
And here's why this is so critical. Get this, India's urban areas generate a full 60% of the country's GDP. These cities are the engines of the entire national economy. So getting their growth and their development right isn't just some local issue. It's absolutely crucial for the future of the whole country.
And that's exactly why Mumbai is the ultimate test case for the whole nation. If this massive gamble pays off, it could become the blueprint for how other huge, sprawling Indian cities can finally fix their own infrastructure crises. But if it goes wrong, it'll be a very powerful, very expensive warning about the dangers of ambition without accountability.
So, that leaves us with the big, final question. Will Mumbai's construction blitz become the new model for the modern megacity, proving that bold investment can actually reverse decades of decay? Or will it end up as a multi-billion-dollar cautionary tale? For hundreds of millions of people living in India's growing cities, the answer is gonna change everything.